Well, good afternoon and welcome to Pope John XXIII High School in Sparta, New Jersey for this afternoon's contest between the Pope John Junior Lions 10 and under squad and the Riverview Chargers. Mike Formisano along with you calling this afternoon's action. Thank you so much for joining us. The Lions 0-2 on the season, having taken it on the chin in their first two games last week against Sayreville, 31-7. They are looking to get on the winning side of things today against the Riverview Chargers squad that is 2-0. River Plaza and Riverview same name. I'll go ahead and change that anyway. The Chargers 31-0 winners against Jackson to start the season, and then 34-6 against the Howell Lions. So they're going Lion hunting again today, and we'll see if Pope John can thwart them at that turn. So, we lost the Freehold in Sayreville. Pope John looking to get on the winning side. Let's go ahead and go over the roster for the Pope John Junior Lions. We'll start with the numbers again. Jerseys did not come in, so we'll get as best as we can with the roster we have with the numbers. We'll try and assimilate everything else in. Starting number 4, Connor Hart. Number 5 is Benny Black. Number 7, Kevin Murphy. Number 8, Charlie Formisano. Number 9, Braden Colson. Number 10, Matthias Munoz. Number 11 is Damian Morales. Number 12, Danny Filato. Number 13, John McCann. 15 is Anthony Reale. He's actually wearing a number 8 today, so both Formisano and Reale are wearing number 8. Reale is the running back. Formisano is the lineman. Max Fido, number 16. Dominic Darko is number 18. Chase Whaley, number 21. 22 is Makai Moon. 23, the quarterback for the Junior Lions, Sean Clements. 24 is Lucas Castro. 26, Braden Convey. 30 is Ryan Hart. 33, Ryan Lambreglia. 40 is Jacob Maria. 43, Tyler Killen. 45, Jude Co-Francesco. 61 is Anthony Grego. 87, John Bordoon. 88 is Noah Kraus. And number 99, Matt Schultz. Thank you. Well, probably appreciate it. Yeah, we got the roster here for the Riverview Chargers, which is great. So we really definitely appreciate that. Not often we have that information. So here's what we have on the Riverview squad. Number 45 is Michael Anucci. Number 27, Nick Antonelli. Number 78, James Boris. Number 2, Antonio Giacone. Number 73 is Mason Filoni. Number 90 is John Roy Figuarelli. Number 6 is Nicholas Hugel. Number 25, Connor Kennedy. 17 is Carter Klinger. K-L-I-N-G-A, Klinger. 32 is Brandon Levitt. Number 55, Declan McGuire. 53, Michael Morgan. 23 is Jack Moritz. Number 8, Logan Peerless. Number 4, Peter Scarpula. And number 20 is Nicholas Verdiglione. Verdiglione. So, those are the rosters. The head coach of the Pope John Junior Lions is Jared Co-Francesco, assisted by Dan Black, Nick Carlson. I do not have a roster of the others. Once I get that, I'll read those as well. The team manager for the Junior Lions is Kathy Jessa Maria. Also want to say special thanks to Rebecca Stauber up today getting everything set up. And so, the Lions looking to get their first win of the season as they come down from atop the hill, coming on to the field right now. Pope John announcing they are Pope John, and they are coming onto the field in search of their first victory of the season. We'll have to do it against the 2-0 Riverview Chargers squad. Next week, the Lions hit the road. They take on the Manalapan Braves at Manalapan. We'll be with you for that broadcast. And then they're back home to Rumson before they have their last 2 road games of the season at Hamilton and at Asbury Park. And they finish up here at Toms River on October 16th. As you see, the Junior Lions and also the Riverview Chargers carrying American flags in honor of September 11th. It was 21 years ago today that our nation was hit by terrorist attacks at the World Trade Center and at the Pentagon, and also in Western Pennsylvania and Shanksville. So we want to take a moment and honor those involved with that awful tragedy. Well, the Pope John Junior Lions and the Riverview Chargers will be starting out in just a little bit. We will be back with the opening kickoff here from Pope John High School in Sparta, New Jersey. Pope John and Riverview here on this Sunday afternoon on September 11th, 2022. We'll be back right after this. How are you? Good.
Oh, you are live right now?
Come on, huh?
We'll be until next year when we're back together again.
Yeah, well, is it? I'm sorry. Yeah, that's awesome. I know, yeah, I remember, yeah. So good. I was looking through this game. Hell of a back. Wow. I know. Welcome back to Pope John High School here in Sparta, New Jersey, as the Pope John Junior Lions 10 and under squad gets set to take on the Riverview Chargers. Mike Formasano along with you, calling today's actions. Captains for the Junior Lions today, Anthony Reale, Jacob Jesamaria, and Charlie Formasano out at midfield for the coin toss against Riverview. And here comes the rest of the squad for Pope John. We'll try to get some of the cheerleading activity for you too throughout the game, and we'll try to get those games for you. The little girls going ahead and cheering for Pope John on the cheerleading squad. Efforts by everybody here at Pope John to pull this off without a hitch, and it's great to see everybody involved. We got a light rain here in Sparta. It's getting moderate right now. There's no thunder or lightning in the area, so hopefully no delays. Last time, Pope John had an underplayed Riverview. There was almost like a monsoon outside. That was on the alternate field up the block. And Riverview won that game 8-6. I remember they kicked an extra point in that game. I remember extra points and 2 points at this age, whereas you run it in on quote-unquote 2-point conversion. It's actually a 1 point is the extra point. So the coin toss is done as both teams head back to the sidelines. Remember, Riverview is 2-0. They defeated Jackson Jaguars 31-0 earlier this season in their first game. And then last Sunday, they defeated the Howell Lions 34-6. Meanwhile, Pope John lost to Freehold 21-0 in their first game of the season. And they were defeated by the Centerville Junior Bombers last week. Final score 31-7. Touchdown by Benny Platt in that game. And Platt also scored the point after touchdown with runs into the end zone in the fourth quarter. So we'll see what Coach Cole Francisco has in store for us today and the growth that this team is showing. And they were getting stronger as the game went on last week, so there is good hope for today's game. And lots of talent on this 10-2 squad. And we'll see how it all comes together. Remember, 10 and under games are 10-minute quarters, 4 quarters, but they're 10 minutes each, not 15 like the NFL. The benefit I have today is I have the roster of the Riverview Chargers as well. The gentleman came into the press box here and gave me a copy right before the game, and that is much, much, much appreciated. I tell anybody to say, hey, if you're able to get the roster, then I will broadcast anything you need. So, if you need the roster, go for it. So we're just waiting for referees to come to midfield and for the coaches to bring their teams back out. Chargers coming onto the field. They have added to their repertoire today American socks. Stars and stripes on their ankles and feet. Hope John is in their home blue uniforms, trimmed by gold and white pants, and blue socks, gold helmets. Riverview with their lighter blue, not quite powder blue like the San Diego Chargers back in the day, but in that Los Angeles Chargers. They have the lightning bolt on the helmet, American flag socks, blue uniforms trimmed by white and yellow. So Riverview will be kicking off. The Chargers going from left to right. The Lions will be receiving the opening kickoff, and they will be going right to left on your screen. Getting last-minute instructions at home from my wife, Karen Formasano, in regards to the audio. She's helped improve that as we have made some adjustments to have the audio come through clear, so thank you for that. So, great speech by the referee there, introducing the game and recalling the events of September 11, 2001, and how we should never forget that awful tragedy and how we as a nation have come back from it. So, God bless, and let's see what happens today with Pope John and Riverview as they take the field for the opening kickoff. The Riverview Chargers and the Pope John Junior Lions. Riverview kicking off from their own 40-yard line. Let's do it. Number 78, James Boris with the kickoff from the 40. Here we go. Kick down the field to about the 35-yard line. It's picked up there by Pope John. That's Betty Platt. Platt will go ahead and take it past the 39 and up to the 40-yard line. where the Lions will start 1st and 10. There goes the quarterback, Sean Clements, number 23, into the huddle. And the Lions are now up to the line. 1st and 10 from their own 40. Man in motion, that's number 36 for the Lions, and he'll take it to the near sideline, and he's brought down by number 2, Antonio Ciccone, at the 45-yard line. That was number 36, one of those mystery numbers. Again, I don't have the actual numbers as the uniforms aren't in, but we will do as best we can figuring it out as much as we can. Clements under center, I formation. Clements keeps it. He goes up the middle to the 50, trying to get to the near sideline, and he's brought down at about the 47-yard line. So, 1st down, Pope John at the Riverview 47-yard line. Clements with the keeper. Nice run for him. That was about 8 yards on the play. We're just 2 minutes in here at Pope John High School, Sparta, New Jersey, as the Junior Lions are marching down the field. These are handoff to the fullback, number 51, and he brings it up to about the 42-yard line. Gain of 5 for the Lions. All right, Pope John up to the line. Clements got I formation in the backfield, hands off to the fullback. That's 51 again. He's brought down at about the 39-yard line. About a yard and a half shy of the 1st down marker. We've got 3rd and 2. So, Pope John up to the line. Clements under center. Platt in the backfield. Hands off to the fullback, 51. He'll carry it, but only about a half yard, and that's going to bring up 4th down. They're going to mark it at the 38 of Riverview. So, Pope John going to go for it. They've got about a half to 3/4 of a yard. If they get to the 37, they should have the 1st. 4th and a little more than the yard, a little less than the yard to go. Clements under center. Clements gives it to Platt. Platt bursts in through the right side. He's got it and then some. Down to about the 26-yard line for a Pope John 1st down. Benny Platt rumbling up the middle there and was finally brought down after a 12-yard gain. We're going to change that to 11 yards because they have marked it at the 27. But Pope John from the Riverview 27. Here's Clements to Platt. Platt's met in the backfield. He gets back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a little more, past the 25. And we'll have 2nd down, about 8 to go. Pope John with a sustained drive going here, marching towards the red zone. Here's Clements under center. Gives it off to 51. He'll turn the corner. That's Platt, actually. Platt down the left sideline. Gets all the way down to about the 7-yard line. 1st down, Pope John, and it'll be goal to go. Benny Platt with the rumble down the left side on the near sideline. And Pope John threatening here in this 1st quarter. We got a whistle and a timeout for Riverview. Timeout on the field. 4:59 to go here, 1st quarter. Riverview and Pope John scoreless here halfway through the 1st. We'll be back right after this timeout. Welcome back to Pope John High School in Sparta, New Jersey. Mike Formisano along with you as the Pope John Junior Lions threatening its first and goal in Riverview territory. Here's a handoff up to Platt. Platt burls down through the 5-yard line and up to about the 4. Bursts right through the middle of the Riverview defensive line. Second goal from the 4. Clements up to the line. Reale in the backfield, so it's number 51 and Platt, the tailback. It goes to Platt. Platt rumbles in from the right side, and it's a touchdown. Pope John. Benny Platt from 4 yards out. And the Lions lead 6-0. Oh, big touchdown for the Lions here to get on the board first today. And with 4:04 to go, they are up 6-0. Lions going for the extra point. Clements up to the line. Here's the handoff to Platt. Platt bursts through the middle. Did he get in? No. He is stopped just shy of the goal line. So point after no good, but the Lions are up 6-0. Terrific opening drive by the Junior Lions. They're able to get on the board. A 4-yard touchdown run by Benny Platt to give them the lead in the first quarter. So 6-0 Pope John over Riverview. Lions setting up for the kickoff from their own 40-yard line. They are going right to left on your screen. Riverview set up at the 50. Here's the kick by Jessa Maria. Over to the 40-yard line. It's received there by number 2 for Riverview, and he's going down the sidelines. He's gone. That is Antonio Ciccone, a 60-yard touchdown for Riverview, and it's 6-6. 60-yard kickoff return by Antonio Ciccone, and just like that, Riverview has tied things up. 6-all here with the extra point pending. So the Chargers up to the line for the point after. Quarterback under center. The first play from scrimmage. It's a point after attempt. And there's Ciccone going up, and he is knocked down shy of the goal line. So Pope John, who had stopped 4 of 5 extra point attempts last week, stops Riverview here, and the score remains tied. 6-6 with 2:30 to go here in the first quarter. Pope John and Riverview all square. We'll be back with the kickoff to Pope John right after this. Here we go with the kickoff from the 40-yard line. Riverview gets it downfield to about the 42. And number 11, Morales, he fumbles it, but he lands right on top of it. He's able to cover, and Pope John retains possession. So the Lions come back out to the field. A very successful opening drive for Pope John. Platt with the 4-yard touchdown run. And so now Pope John will try and go 2 for 2 here in the first quarter. 2:04 to go here, opening the stanza. The Lions and the Chargers tied at 6. No, it's not Detroit and LA. It's Pope John and it's Riverview. Clements under center. You got one man in the backfield. That's Platt. Man in motion to 36. He is met in the backfield by Ciccone, who brings him down. Loss of yardage on the play for the Lions. And so they will try again. Second down. So Ciccone, who got the touchdown there on the 60-yard kickoff return, he now brings down the man in motion for Pope John and drops him for a 3-yard loss. 2nd and 13 from the 39. Clements under center. Hands off to Platt, who was met in the backfield. But he bounces off a defender, runs into his own guy, however, and is dropped at the 40. He would have had a little more yardage, but he unfortunately ran right into 51. They collided, and before Platt could gain himself, Riverview was all over him. So, bad break for Pope John. It's 3rd and 12 from their own 40. Clements comes back into the huddle. Game very reminiscent of the one they had here 13 months ago, except the rain was a lot harder. Encroachment on Riverview, and that will gain Pope John 5 yards. So, good break for the Lions. The defensive penalty will bring it down to the Pope John 45. That'll bring up 3rd and 7 for the Lions. And that's the end of the first quarter. Pope John on their opening drive gets a 4-yard touchdown run by Benny Platt. But Riverview responds immediately on a 60-yard kickoff return by Antonio Ciccone. And Pope John and Riverview are tied after the first quarter, 6-6. Teams back on the field quickly. I think they want to get this one in before the rain intensifies or if there's any thunder and lightning. So quarter number 2. They're starting up right now. Here's 3rd down. Clements knocks into his fullback, tries to give it to Platt, and he is stopped for a loss at, I guess, the 42-yard line. They're going to mark it at the 42. So 4th down for Pope John. We've got about 9 yards to go, and it looks like they're going to go for it. Clements coming back into the huddle. Okay, here's the snap and the pitch to Platt, and he is dropped in the backfield for a loss down to the 38-yard line. So I see what has happened here. It's the ball's going to go over to Riverview, but the referees trying to coordinate with the clock here, they said there was an extra 2 minutes that had elapsed off the clock. So they added those 2 minutes back. That's why we went immediately into action, and we didn't have a stoppage between the first and second quarter. So the clock is now winding down. It's 47 seconds to go. again, the clock up here is different than the clock that the referees keep on the field. So that adjustment has been made. Think about it like in soccer. You got extra time because the clocks need to be adjusted. Something like that. Riverview at the Pope John 39-yard line. Here's a snap. Even off the number 8. He'll have to go ahead and turn the corner. That's Logan Perilous. Perilous brought down at the 27-yard line, and that's good enough for a Charger first down. Now 6 seconds to go in the quarter. And that's it. As the buzzer sounds for the end of the first quarter. We're going to see what the referees are saying. And the buzzer did go off here for the second quarter. That should be at the end of the first, right? I'm not sure. I think they were just adding the type of with the clock that they have on the field. I think it's still first quarter, but I'm not sure what they're doing as far as the clock is concerned. I mean, they're handling it on the field. There's Ciccone with the snap. He rolls left down the sideline to the 20, brings it down to about the 15, maybe 16-yard line, and that will be good enough for a first down for Riverview. We will straighten away the clock situation in just a minute. I think we're just going to play with it right now. Just go with it. Either way, we're at Pope John High School in Sparta, New Jersey. In a light rainstorm, we are tied 6-all. Charger coaches talking to their team now. They come out of the break, back onto the field. The referees will spot the ball at the 17-yard line. Should be first down, 1st and 10. The marker on the field has second down, so we'll see if they adjust that. Here's a snap to Ciccone. Hands it off to number 20. He barrels down the right side. End around sweep, gets to the sideline, and is brought down. Probably made it back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard gain on the play. So a long run there for number 20, Nicholas Vertigiloni. I know I'm butchering that name. I apologize. But anyway, number 20 goes all the way down to the sideline. So he ran about 40 yards, maybe about 30 from midfield, 25. Got to the sidelines and only for a yard gain. Remember, you haven't seen football over the years. The field is 110 yards in each end zone and 50 across. So if you're in midfield, which is where they were, he ran about 25 yards to the sideline. There's the handoff to number 8, and a flag on the play. 8 rumbles to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, Riverview. That is Logan Perilous. And we're going to see if that stays on the field. It will not. The touchdown is negated. Holding call against Riverview, and Pope John will gain some yardage out of this, pushing Riverview back on the penalty. The touchdown does not count for Riverview, and the penalty will bring them back to the 29-yard line. Very costly holding penalty against Riverview there. So second down, 20 to go. Riverview up to the line. Ciccone, the quarterback, in the shotgun. He's got 2 men in the backfield. Here's the snap. Goes to Ciccone. Ciccone will keep it. He runs up the right side. He's through 5, and touchdown. Antonio Ciccone with his second touchdown of the game. And that will give the Riverview Chargers a 12-6 lead pending the extra point. So Ciccone with a 60-yard kickoff return and now a 29-yard keeper. And Riverview is up 12-6. So the Chargers up to the line for the extra point. Ciccone in the shotgun. He rolls right, throws down the field. It's tipped, but still goes through to the receiver. And that is number 32, I believe, for Riverview. Touchdown, point after for the Chargers is good, even though a Pope John defenseman got a hand on it. Brandon Levitt with the catch to give Riverview the point after. So 13-6 is the score. It's 2 points when they kick it, and it's 1 when they go in either a run or throw. Yeah, it's like the reverse of what the pros in college does. Because at this age, it's tougher for them to kick it than it is to run it in. So Riverview actually had an extra point last year. They kicked it. So I believe so. Yeah, it's got to be a new quarter. So we'll have to find out how that's going to be kept. So we are now in the second quarter as Riverview takes a 13-6 lead. Referees are going to adjust the clock so we got an accurate time from the field, and I believe they're going to reset it to 10 minutes. So this will start the second quarter. Now Riverview will be going right to left on your screen. Pope John left to right. So we can make that Ciccone touchdown and point after as the last play of the first quarter. And now as we start the second, kickoff goes to Platt at the 30. He fumbles it, picks it up at the 25. And he's met by a legion of Chargers, bringing him down at the 28-yard line. So Pope John will start from their own 28 as we begin the second quarter. 9:51 on the clock. 13-6 Riverview over Pope John. The starting unit coming onto the field, number 64 for the Lions, along with number 8, Charlie Formisano. Here's Sean Clements coming into the huddle. Pope John up to the line. Here's the snap. Ball goes up the middle, down to about the 34, maybe 35-yard line. That is Anthony Reale with the keeper there from Clements. Good rushing attempt by Reale. He's able to gain about 5 on the play, so it'll make it 2nd and 5 from the Lion 34. Here's a snap and false start by the center. He double clutched there as he tried to give the ball off to Clements. So false start on Pope John. That'll be a 5-yard penalty. So that'll bring up 2nd and 10. The 5-yard rush by Reale is negated. Maybe about 10.5 yards. It's between the 29 and 30, and the Lions have to get to the 40. So 2nd and about 10.5. Here's Clements with the snap. Gives it over to Platt. Platt through the right side. He's got 3 defenders on him, and they bring him down at about the 39-yard line. Platt is about 1 yard shy of the first down. So, big 9-yard gain, and we got a player down. And it's on Pope John. That looks to be number 25, 26. It is number 26, Braden Convey. Convey's still down for Pope John. Coaches and the trainers attending him. Well, they're assisting Convey to his feet, and that's good to see. You can help him off the field. Gets nice applause from the fans on both sides. They're actually going to lift him off the field, so maybe a little more serious than we initially thought. So, hope he gets the treatment he needs and gets healthy very soon. We'll start up again at 9:02 of the second quarter. Pope John will get to the line. It's going to be 3rd and 1 for the Lions. Platt on a 9-yard gainer there for second down, and he gets it again, rumbling past the 40, and a Pope John first down. Nice run by Platt, the workhorse here in the offense for the Lions so far. And that will give Pope John a first down. Clock running, 8:45 to go. Second quarter, 13-6 in favor of Riverview. Try saying that 5 times fast. Chargers up on the Lions, 13-6. Lions are up to the 41-yard line. Clements under center. Lone man in the backfield, that's Platt. Here's a snap. Clements hands it off to Platt. Platt now to the left side. He's got room to run. He's at the 50, the 45, the 40. Platt's still going down to about the 30. He reverses course to try and go inside as they were going to catch him on the sidelines. Gets a few extra yards out of it. Gets down to the 27. Nice run by Benny Platt. So 32-yard gain for number 5 for Pope John with 8:05 to go. And we got a flag on the play. Is that going to negate it? Referee's discussing things. It looks like it's coming back. Bad break for Pope John. Platt exasperated. It is going to bring it back. The penalty on Pope John there. And it's going to bring the ball back to the 40-yard line of the Lions. So, unfortunate turn of events there for Pope John. Big gainer knocked off the board there for Platt. So the Lions will need to regroup. Clock starts up, 8:03 to go. We're going to start up again from the Pope John 40-yard line. They've got to get to the Riverview 48. Is snap. Clements fakes it to the tailback, but gives it to 51. His fullback. He gets back to the line, and that's it. Riverview meets him there. We're going to bring up third down. Watt now back into the game. Number 96 out for... No, he goes back in the huddle. Coaches tell him, stay on the field, stay on the field. And it's actually going to be number 12, Danny Filato, coming out. Oh, second down to 12. They just slowed in the second down because of the penalty. And Pope John met in the backfield once again. That's Platt for a loss of yardage. He's dropped for a 1-yard loss down to the 38. Third and 14 for the Lions. Chargers up in this one, 13-6. Clock running, 6:22 to go, second quarter. Three men in the backfield. We got movement on the front line, and that will be a false start against the Lions. So I'll push it back even further. Third and 19. The ball spotted just shy of the 33-yard line. Pope John needs to get to the 48 of Riverview for a first down. Clemens coming over to the sideline to talk with Coach Co-Francesco about strategy. Now he goes back to the huddle. So the Lions back up to the line now. Clemens takes the snap. He's back to pass. Clemens over to Reale. It's just underthrown. Reale can't handle it, and that'll bring up fourth down. So the first passing play for the Lions today, and Clemens just came up maybe a couple of yards shy of reception there from Reale. It was right on the ground. He wasn't able to go ahead and grab it with his hands, and ball hit the turf and brings up fourth and 19. 5:24 to go here, second quarter. Pope John up to the line of scrimmage. Here's the snap. Clemens back to pass. Heaves it downfield, and it's intercepted by Riverview. That's number 32, Brandon Levitt, who scored the point after touchdown. He's able to pick off that Clemens pass, and the Chargers will take over in plus territory. 5:17 to go, second quarter. Riverview, 13. Pope John, 6. Chargers will start from the Pope John 44-yard line. Chargers up to the line of scrimmage. Man in motion, that's number 8. Snap to Ciccone. We've got a penalty on the play. So, false start on the Chargers. Penalty against number 51. That is not on the roster. So, okay. Number 51 with the penalty there for Riverview. You had number 8, Logan Perilous, in motion there, but 51 with movement on the line, and that pushes Riverview back 5 yards. Back up to the line now, 1st and 15 for the Chargers. From the Pope John 49, Perilous in motion. No, that's number 6 in motion, actually. That's Hugel. And number 20 has it. He's brought down in the backfield by Sean Clements. Great play by Clements to bring number 20, Vertigiloni, down. And so Riverview loses a whole heaping bunch there. That sets them back 14 yards. He had nowhere to go. He just kept running backwards. Clements was after him, and he wouldn't let him gain that yardage back. So, 2nd and long for the Chargers. This could be a big break for Pope John in the game of field position, trying to get back into this one. 4 minutes to go here in the first half. And Pope John wants to get that ball back desperately and go on another drive to try to get to the end zone, maybe even take the lead before the end of the first half. Man in motion. Ciccone hands it off to number 8. He fumbles it but recovers as he's being brought down by Benny Platt. So Perilous, he had the ball in his hands running towards the near sideline, juggled it for a moment, but was able to grab it before Platt knocked into him and knocked the ball loose. In the process, however, Riverview is still yards and yards and yards away from that first down marker. They've got to get to the Pope John 34, and they are on their own 35. Third and 31 for Riverview. Here's the snap, fumbled by Ciccone. He gets it. He's running backwards again. He sidesteps one tackler, now another. That's Clements. Now Jesse Marie after him. And there goes Ciccone. He's down the sidelines. And he turns that into a Riverview touchdown. To the 10-5 touchdown, Riverview. Wow. Pope John had him dead to rights in the backfield after the fumbled snap. He recovers it, and he lets the speed take over. And so a 65-yard run by Antonio Ciccone gives the Riverview Chargers a 19-6 lead. Bad break for Pope John. Yeah, I don't know if he can get more deflated after something like that. It'll be on the coaching staff of Pope John and the players to see how they respond to this, trying to get back into it. They were basically 1 or 2 plays away from regaining possession, being in plus territory, and trying to gain the lead again. But Ciccone turns things around. You talk about turning points in the game. That's one of them right there. Ciccone in the shotgun. He rolls to his right. He's got Jesse Marie all over him, and he's sacked. So, another point after touchdown that Pope John negates. Keeps this game 19-6. 2:35 to go, second quarter. Well, you have to give tons of credit to Ciccone there. Number 2 for Riverview. That was a huge run off the fumbled snap in the shotgun. He's able to break free of like about 3 Pope John tacklers, and then finally busted down the sidelines on the far side of the field. Got a step on Platt, and he was gone. Here's the kickoff by number 78, Boris. Down to about the 30. It gets past Clements. Clements will just fall on it. And Pope John will take over from the 27, maybe 28-yard line. It's raining. It's slippery out there. best to go ahead and land on it, keep it secure, and let the offense take over. 2:35 to go, second quarter. 19-6 in favor of Riverview. Charlie Formasano running into the huddle there, along with Klebitz, who gets in there. Lions up to the line. 1st and 10 from their own 28. Man in motion. Klebitz takes it, gives it to Platt to the left side. Platt through in the middle, running back up the center of the field and down to the 40. That's good enough for a Pope John first down. The Lions get to their own 40-yard line, and with 2:28 to go, Pope John trying to build some momentum here. Yeah, the quicker you can get the taste out of your mouth of that last touchdown, the better chance you have of winning this game. So, Pope John with a 12-yard gainer from Platt. And they've got 1st and 10 from their own 40. 2:04 to go. Klebitz with the snap. Gives it to Platt. He is met at the line by Riverview. That's number 73 with the tackle, Mason Filoni. Minute 40 now. 100 seconds to go in the first half. Klebitz back into the huddle. Pope John up to the line. Here's the snap. Klebitz gives it to the fullback. That's Reale running up the middle. Gets to about the 43-yard line. That'll bring up. We've got 3rd down on the field. 3rd down and 7 to go. One minute to go here, second quarter. Lions are going to have to hurry if they want to put some points on the board. Klebitz under center. Fakes a handoff to Platt. Now gives it to Reale. Reale up the left side. Gets around one defender. Can't sneak past the second. And his forward motion is stopped at the 45. 37 seconds to go. We got a timeout on the field. That'll bring up 4th down for the Lions. 37 ticks till halftime. So the story of the game so far has been Antonio Ciccone for the Riverview Chargers. 3 touchdowns on the game, a 60-yard kickoff return, a 29-yard scamper, and then a 65-yard keeper on a fumbled snap in the shotgun. He was able to rumble in from his own 35-yard line. Those 3 touchdowns by Ciccone have given the Chargers a 19-6 lead. The lone score by Pope John was from Benny Platt, 4 yards out to open the game in the mid part of the first quarter. We'll see if the Lions can respond before halftime here. Pope John back up to the line. Klebitz fakes the pitch to Platt, gives it off to number 51. He is brought down at the Pope John 48. It will not be enough for a first down, however. Turnover on downs, and the ball will go to Riverview with 34 seconds to go. So now the job by Pope John is to make sure that Ciccone or any of his other teammates don't get free and break a big gainer to add to this 19-6 lead they have. You want to shut them down, get into halftime, and figure things out for the second half. It's a game much closer than the score indicates at this point in time. Pope John's been in it the whole way. Chargers starting in plus territory at the Pope John 48. Ciccone in the shotgun, 2 men in the backfield. Low snap again, but he handles it. We got a whistle, however. So they stop play. And they're going to move the ball back 5 yards. Penalty on Riverview. Another false start. They've had a few. So now in shotgun. Handoff goes to number 20. He is met in the backfield. Still on his feet. Finally tossed down by number 98. It's Noah Kraus. Flips him around. And he hits the turf. And that's going to end the first half. While Riverview holds a 19-6 lead on Pope John on the strength of 3 touchdowns by Antonio Ciccone, a 60-yard kickoff return, a 29-yard keeper, and a 65-yard run off a fumbled shotgun snap. Platt with a lone touchdown for the Lions from 4 yards out in the middle of the first quarter. And at halftime, Riverview leads Pope John 19-6. We'll take a break. And we'll be back for second half action right after this.